Hey everyone, this is Danny with Stuff I Kind of Care About, and today I'm going to be attempting a lightsaber hilt in the spirit of nerddom and Star Wars. So, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making everything. Oh god, I'm knocking everything over. I'm going to be making everything out of copper. I picked up all the copper to make way more than 2 lightsaber hilts. Kind of as a proof of concept, and then I'm just going to make a few more if I want to and have fun with them. So, I'm using 3/4 inch copper for the actual grip, and then I'm using 1/2 inch for the taper down. I like the look of what is, I believe, Obi-Wan's lightsaber, where it kind of tapers down at the throat here. That's something that I appreciate, so I'm going to try to replicate that. So I have a lot of fixtures in plastic. Not a lot. I have 3 fixtures in plastic. And then I'm actually going to be using an old welding nozzle from an old MIG welder. No, sorry. TIG. TIG. It's an old TIG attachment. And using that to give it a little bit more of an interesting look. And a few other things. So I am not actually going to be joining this with epoxy or soldering it together. I'm going to be riveting it all together with my handy dandy rivet set. That's why I have a drill handy. Anyway, you don't really need to know about those things yet. I'll talk you through them as we go. What you do need to know is that this end cap goes here. This piece here is going to sit right here. And then this piece here, which actually looks kind of like the end of a lightsaber, is going to go out here. This is probably going to sit in here and just make it look a little bit more interesting, blah, blah, blah. Doing something along these lines. We'll figure that out as we go. So, I don't need those pieces right now. What I need to do is figure out how long I want this thing. And I've drawn this, and this feels really small. Lightsaber hilts are usually like this big. They're beefy things. I like the idea of there being a Jedi out there that has a more old-fashioned, not quite as industrial-looking lightsaber that's smaller, a little bit easier to conceal and to hide. Maybe it doesn't do the full like Jedi Knight blade. Maybe it's a smaller blade. I don't know. This is all stuff I'm thinking about being nerdy. So, I'm going to make the lightsaber. I'm guessing that I want 6 inches for where my hand is going to go and 2 inches for between these 2 pieces. Because I can see that it seats into here about 1/2 inch and into here about 1/2 inch. So if I hold those about 1 inch apart, I like the look of that. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. You can probably see that better. So I like the way that looks, that feels. So what I'm going to do is I already have my handy dandy copper pipe cutter set larger. So the first one of these that we're going to work on is going to be the larger pipe. And I'm just going to use Sharpie because all of these cuts, even if the Sharpie's still there, it's going to get seated inside a fitting. So I don't really care if it doesn't look the prettiest. So I've got 6 inches right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this thing set up. And then this, you essentially just want to turn, and this copper will just fall right off. Now you want to be careful as you're doing this, because you don't want to overpressure it, because this will just collapse the pipe, and that's never a good time. Copper is really quite malleable, which is why you can cut it like this and it doesn't take a ton of time. Like that right there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my 2 inch one. Alright, got a small piece. Now I know I'm not soldering this, so I don't actually have to clean these joints up for fluxing and all of that. I do want to dress them up a little bit just to make sure they fit smoothly and I'm not having to just mash everything into place. Because if I do have to mash it into place, there's a chance I could bend something. Really don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to sand them up really quick. Just kind of get these lips cleaned a little more. It's also a good habit every time you're working with any kind of metal to go ahead and sand down any cut edges. Either sand them, file them, or if you've got like a grinder or a belt sander, do that. Just because metal shavings in your fingers are really annoying. Alright, so that's going to be my handle. This, for a second, it performed an optical illusion on me and looked like it was too small. And I wasn't happy about that. Okay, so this is my lightsaber hilt. There are none other like it, but this one is mine. Anyway, I really like this. I kind of want to figure out a way to put some weight into the back end of this, so I might end up doing that. We'll see. I'm going to think about it some. But everything fits together nicely. So what I'm going to do is, I actually need this all together. Okay, I really like this distance here. I feel like it could be a little bit shorter, but I'm not mad about it. You know, if I turn this on, that gives me a good amount of lightsaber to... You gotta make the sound effects. I'm not good at lightsaber sound effects. Also, the other thing I decided to do is I have a roll of paper with pennies in it. And I've already dry fit this in here. And I know this fits very snugly. But I can't tamp down the end of it yet. Because I have to fit this all together. And to do that, I gotta drill it. I'm wearing eye protection now. I like my eyes. I don't want them to get mussed up. Alright, so you can see how different those look. I'm really excited about that look because it looks purposeful. Alright, now I have to put something inside of here. Alright, they're moving, but barely. And again, these are looking asymmetrical, which is the purpose. It's been my plan all along. I can't use this because I can't join it together with that in there. So I'm going to have to do that at the very end of everything. Curse you, Danny. You big old idiot. Okay, so everything is in place for now, but still have to use some of this stuff, jam it down in there, and try to see if I can get one of these to fit in here. I'm not using the nozzle. It, because of the rivets that I have in there, it's off-centered, and I don't like that. And I'm gonna wait for that to cure. And then I gotta finish up the handle. Okay, so this is all coming together nicely. It's curing nicely. I'm not the happiest about in there, but I'm really excited about how this looks. It looks really cool. You can't get a second hand on there, but I feel happy about it. It has a very nice weight to it. So I'm going to use some of this gorgeous leather from Acadia Leather, and I'm going to actually wrap the handle with this. I think it's going to match out very nicely, and it's going to look great. So I need 4.5 by 3 1/16. So I'm going to come out here. I'm just going to use this little piece, save the rest of this for something else. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to edge this. I've got this done. Now I'm going to go ahead and give myself a line. And I just want to remind everybody out there at home, I'm an amateur. I don't really know what I'm doing. So, So I'm going to go punch this off camera because it makes a ton of noise. Okay. Delicious holes are punched. So, I'm going to be using a needle and some of this awesome artificial sinew to sew this up. So I don't really want this to move much, so I'm going to use a little bit of contact cement. I may not be doing this right. Alright, my lovelies. So, we started with this. I feel like it's pretty decent. It's not the worst thing ever. We have ended with this. I'm very happy with it. It is weighty. I'm actually really happy with it. I feel like it's pretty awesome. This seam here definitely could have done a little bit cleaner on. I learned some stuff I will be doing in the future. Other than that, I really wish that I had a button to show, that it was turning on. That's something that I'll probably be adding to the next one of these that I make. But I'm really excited about how it looks. It gives me the feel of one of those old, like brass telescopes, the spyglasses. And so I'm really enjoying it. The asymmetry is pleasing to me, so I don't feel as bad just because everything's not perfect, and that makes me happy. But I had a blast making this thing, and now all I can think about is what I want to do better on the next one. And I have a bunch of material left over to actually do that. So, hooray! Hope you're enjoying what I'm doing. I'm having way too much fun. Anyway, I'm gonna relax for the rest of the weekend. I hope everyone has a fantastic week ahead of them. And please, continue to be awesome to each other. Catch you later.